Hey there Internet, Keith here, and welcome to the Cars and Keith YouTube channel. In this video we're going over the new CR Spotless with the built-in bypass. The DIW-20, which is what I have before, I've had for several years. It's about 410 bucks. I think at the time I bought it, it was $390, but the price has gone up. This is $460 because it has a built-in bypass. The remnants of it right here, it just looks kind of weird with that thing dangling. They also have the 10-inch version of this as well with the built-in bypass. They have the version with the little cart dolly as well, but I think they charge a little extra for that one. I'm not quite sure why. They've been advertising for a very long time, veteran-owned business. Now you take these filter housings, which they don't make. They're made by other companies. Pretty sure I think they make and design this, the bracket, because it is probably the strongest bracket that I've seen on any one of these systems. They put a built-in TDS meter drilled in the back with an adapter. You can see that it's done by hand. You can see the glue. You can see it's not like precision assembly line type stuff. If you were doing a wall mount situation where you had a piped in setup, this wouldn't be as I don't think it'd be as great. But if you're just have it on the wall and you're just hooking a water hose up here and the water hose is going to your pressure washer, perfect for that for sure. Is it going to be able to handle the flow of the bypass? Would it be able to give me 7-8 gallons per minute, or is it going to restrict it? Because they are using a smaller tubing, and these adapter fittings have a very narrow diameter here. On the output of this is 2.5 gallons per minute. They say 2.4 gallons per minute, so 2.5 max. The big 20-inch filters gives you a lot of surface area. You can flow the water a little bit better. So a lot of people were having success with higher ppm. People were running the 2 to 3, even up to 400. We're running these and getting, like, people 400 or 500 TDS were getting 100 gallons or a couple hundred gallons. That's not bad. One thing they have improved on CR Spotless is the little rings around the cartridges are way better, way better. Old ones would break every single time. They have really nice stickering. It just goes tap this way, it's got an arrow for you. DI this way, it's got an arrow for you. Much more user friendly than, say, the Griot's garage tank system. The input flow is completely blocked and it has to come through here, so you can't mess up your input output flows. The TDS meter right here, and these TDS meters are built for flow, so water has to be running for this to read accurately. So if you try to read something that's standing still, water still, is not going to be accurate. Plastic filter housings here. You can see on the inside, way down here, there is a one-way flow stopper as well. And there's your bypass. So it comes in through here. They have this is a 3/8 inch, looks like 3/8 inch adapter. And it's OD push to connect. So literally we can just take that off. So that screws into a 3/8 inch to 3/4 inch GHT adapter. So that way you can hook it up to a garden hose. And that's the beauty of these OD. You just push to connect. That goes up into a much larger type adapter like this, because there's a 3-way T right here with a handle valve built on top of it. And you have a whole bunch of these look like big old 1/2 inchers. It's actually just like the other ones. They're push to connects. We have a cut tube going this way and this way of this probably 3/8 inch tubing into an elbow. And it's literally just this push to connect on one side, push to connect on the opposite side. Then a really small tube that goes from the end of this elbow to the same kind of adapter that's right here, but they drilled and tapped the thread and they screwed it into the housing rather than into an adapter. You can see where they drilled in and put an adapter there as well, but the one that they drilled into the housing here for the TDS meter is plastic and not metal. Perfectly in that outflow. And like I said, these are just push to connects. It literally just comes right off and then you can push right on. So they give you a double-sided female garden hose thread. So that way now you can hook up your male, and it's swiveled, so it makes it a lot easier. Literally the output is drilled into the threads, so the output is flowing through them, so you can't have something screwed in front of it, because if you do, then it's going to block the flow. So they took an adapter that's 3/4 inch NPT. This is national pipe thread to your 3/4 inch GHT, which is for your garden hose, and they shaved it down so that way when it screws all the way in, it's not blocking that output flow. So that leaves you a very narrow set of threads. and it'll screw right in on this. So we're definitely going to need the Teflon tape that they gave us, because only having 4 to 5 threads, we're definitely going to need the Teflon tape to make sure that that doesn't leak. And then obviously you hook the female side of your output hose up to here. You also have your filter housing wrench. You're going to need one of these to remove these. And last but not least, you get a garden hose sprayer, like the cheapest of the cheap. It's all plastic. There's no metal at all. 34.84 pounds. So that you know how heavy this is for you to try to mount this on a wall by yourself. Here's the inner part of the housing. One thing I don't like about the inner part of the housing is they have no alignment tool, but you can see in there, you can see the prongs for the TDS meter. You can see how they just drilled through that housing. You can see the gap there. You can see all the glue on the inside. So here's a tube. These should be about 7 to 7.5 pounds of resin. So this is probably weighs 8 pounds. 7.70 pounds. Here's that centering ring I was telling you about. Just way stronger. It's not going to break like the other ones. The other ones sat inside this little groove right here, and it moved inside that pipe like crazy. But these are good. I like these. We'll weigh the other one. And that one weighs less. So it's less resin in this one, 7.64. We're doing a double check on the TDS. This is a calibrated TDS meter. I have my calibration fluid here. This is 342 ppm water at 79 degrees. It's about 75 in here, so it might be off by a few. And it reads 344. So we are pretty accurate on that. This, you can get this water on Amazon. All right, before we get into all the testing fun, don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to testing. I got my Elay garden hose sprayer with a quick connect built into the top, so I can just connect that right to my setup, and I can always leave my spray gun screwed into my water hose and have to worry about it. So I'll run it just on tap. I have the arrow pointed to the tap, but we have our meter on here. And I have a downspout so that way it goes directly down. To make sure that the meter is working correctly, we're going to put the timer on a stopwatch to 1 minute. We're going to quickly push this over and then fill that up for a minute, and then see if there's 2.5 gallons in the bucket. If there is, then we know that the meter is measuring pretty accurate. Do you have any leaks? It was leaking out of this fitting right here in a second on this corner, but I had detached that and put it back on. I didn't put it back on all the way. There we go. All right, that's 2.44, 2.47, so we're right at the limit. Just go ahead and check the TDS of our current water. 64 ppm water coming in. We'll tear it out to 0, so the bucket weight is already accounted for. And here we go. So it's 20.96 pounds. 2.51 gallons per minute. We were reading about 2.47. We're within 1.6%. So we're pretty solid there. If at the end of the test we're 1.6 again, then that's perfect. All right, can we flip it instantly to DI without any, let me make sure all my pipe fittings are pure. Here we go, DI. I do say run it for a few minutes to get it, all cleaned out. What is this reading? 0 ppm. And our TDS meter is reading 0 ppm as well. Go back to tap real quick. So I'm full blast right here. We are definitely being limited by the size of the piping. We're getting 3.16 gallons per minute right now. It's still plenty of water to run a pressure washer or something like that, but my idea of a bypass is my bypass is unrestricted. But when I turn to DI, then I don't mind the DI being restricted to what it's supposed to be. Let's put it on, we're on full at 3.16. Let's run DI. What's the max flow we can do DI wise? At about 2.6, 2.7. All right, so the hoses are all set up. It's 9:30 at night, so it's going to be early in the morning before we're done. But the good thing is I can go off and do other things. So we're good to go. We're going to let this bad boy run for quite a long time. So here is our water storage out on the back porch area here. It's a 500-gallon pillow, basically. Really tough material. It fills all the way up. Obviously here it can't hold 500 gallons because of the incline from the way that, you know, the slope of the concrete drains off. Probably about 450 before it starts flowing out the top. I usually just put a hose in the top with a pump to pump it back. There's the pump right there waiting to be used. And it works out great. And as you see, this is a Flexzilla on this side. It's 25 foot here. There's another 50-foot rubber hose from Blue Shield. And then obviously the hose we use with our spray gun and our Blue Seal reel is a Flexzilla as well. I love the Flexzilla hoses for garden hoses for sure. First checkup just crossed 50 gallons. Our TDS is 0. That's awesome. I love that. You can just check that. You don't have to keep filling up a cup, checking with the old TDS meter. We're back for more. 2.47 gallons per minute, still running. We are at 317.08 gallons so far. 0 ppm. She's getting to be a big old pillow now. We are now at 430 gallons. Still at 0 ppm. We are running 2.4, 2.44, 47, kind of bouncing back and forth. Oh yeah, there we go. That's full. Oh, this is going to be a long night. 654 gallons. We're still at 0 ppm. 826 gallons. Are we still at 0? We are still at 0. We're now at 907 gallons. 2 ppm. It's 1,024 gallons. 4 ppm. 1,116 gallons. 6 ppm. Well, I came back a little bit late. 1,227 gallons is now at 14 ppm, and it rose from 13 to 14 while I was about to film, so that's quick degradation there. Here's a sample of that water to see what it's like on the calibrated meter. Dang, 13. So it was 14 here and 13 there. I mean, that's pretty good. All right, it's been a long night. 6 a.m. now. This is way longer than I expected. So 2.47 gallons per minute on here right now. All right, so it's 21.1 pounds. Comes out to 2.52 gallons per minute. So the last time around it was 2.51 gallons per minute. So, I mean, it's pretty much still dead on, still less than 2% difference. 1,200 gallons, I was not expecting that, but I'm actually starting to remember back years ago when I did the first CR Spotless. I didn't test it then, but I had the meters on there that I have on my wall over here. And I remember 1,700 gallons, but I remember that's when it went from 0 to 1 ppm. It works. I mean, their resin seems to do pretty well, whatever resin they use that they pack. So the good news for me is the next video when I do the build your own DI system, I am not going to test again. I'm going to use the same CR Spotless cartridges again. These just work, and it's just easier. So I already know what they can perform, and I know what the other housings are going to do the exact same thing as long as the flow is the same. So check out the links below for anything in the video. These are available on Amazon, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Our calibrated meter here, we're also going to be able to, I can't say it, to be able to check to see how accurate the TDS hit here. Oh my gosh. See how close, when this says thing 10. Our meter's broke. Oh, that was, oh my gosh. I was adjusting it and I was looking at the total gallons rising up, and it went from like 2.5 to 6 to 7 to 8 up to 3. And I'm like, what's going on? It was literally the gallon counter, not the gallons per minute meter. I was like, what was going on here? It's like 3 gallons a minute. So on the next video when we design, our So our next video when we design our own oh my gosh. I can't speak. I'm so late. It just doesn't look right. Oh my gosh, my alarm clock to go wake up in the morning at 6.